Do you need to recover, or do you need to go to war? What do you need, right? Because it's very important to understand that in terms of motivation, we often hear about the grind and the hustle and the hard work, right? The blood, sweat, and tears, right? How hard can you push? How deep can you dig to squeeze out every last bit of effort you can to move in the direction that you need to go in order to get the results, in order to get the wins that you need, right? For the most part, this is what we think about when we hear motivational speaking, right? That's the rhetoric. It's all about the grind, right? How much you can endure. But this only works for a small segment of the population. This only works for the people who are able-bodied. This only works for the people who are ready. Right? This type of motivation only works for those who are ready to do battle. But then there's the other segment of the population. There's the other side, the side of the people who belong in the infirmary. Right? The people with the busted arm and the busted leg and the concussion. The people with the flus and the fevers. Right? You can't tell those people to go to war. And so you got to understand, which category do you fall in? Recovery or war? And so the reason why I want to talk about this is because self-care is one of the most important factors that will determine your success. And if you don't do enough of it, you are not going to make the transformation that you want to make. Because we got to heal, we got to recover. You can't just keep pressing. You can't just keep slaving yourself and think that there's not going to be a consequence to that. So, some of us have so much emotional and mental damage, right? There's the body image issues. There's the bad experiences. There's the economic disparity. Some people, they've lost their job. They're around negative people. They're around abusive people. They're in abusive relationships. You hate your job, whatever the case may be. You're just under so much stress. A person that is under that kind of stress cannot just be told, you need to pick yourself up and work harder. That's not the message that's really going to help that person. So if this is you, that message is not really going to help you. So what else is there? If you're impervious to that kind of motivation, what's left is the recovery. And recovery is not just what you do at night when you go to sleep. Recovery is a big part of your lifestyle, right? Recovery is what feeds the spirit, what feeds positivity to your mind, right? And what feeds your body. Recovery is your food choices. Recovery is when you decide to go to sleep. Recovery is whether you decide to get a canvas and paint, get your Bob Ross on, or you're going to crack open a bottle of liquor and try to drink your pain away. These are the choices that determine how effective your recovery is going to be. Are you smoking and inhaling cigarette smoke, or are you sitting out on the beach or by the shore, right? Or the lake, wherever, and breathing in some fresh air, maybe some salt water? What are you breathing in? Right? Are you smelling beautiful aromatherapy and essential oils when you come home? Or are you smelling the filth from the place you haven't been cleaning? Are you going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and only getting 6 hours of sleep, or are you going to bed at 9 and getting 8? Or maybe even 10? Right? What are you eating? Are you eating ice cream, or are you eating grapefruit and kiwi and your greens and all of that? What are you eating? Recovery, right? In order to have an effective go of recovery, there has to be self-respect and self-love. And aside from when you sleep and how long you sleep and what you eat and your habits of what you do when you do the things that feed your spirit, like the painting and the sitting in nature and the journaling and the self-affirmation, it's also, what do you listen to? What do you hear when you first wake up in the morning? And what do you hear right before you go to bed at night? You may not even realize it. You never really even stop to think about it. You know, a lot of people, they listen to drama TV shows, right? Where in the TV show, it's got you on pins and needles because, you know, the protagonist is trying to stop a terrorist from blowing up Washington or something like that, right? And there's shooting and people are getting shot and killed and there's sadness and fear and anger and maybe some cursing. And this show is really exciting for you. Maybe you're watching The Walking Dead before you go to bed at night and zombies eating people and all of this gory stuff, right? And you watch that and then you turn the TV off and go to bed. The last thing you saw before you went to bed is just a bunch of people dying and just chaos. How do you think that affects your sleep? When you wake up first thing in the morning, you turn on the TV and you hear about all the chaos in politics. This dirty politician is doing this, and this crooked police officer just murdered this kid. When you hear all of that first thing in the morning, how do you think that starts your day? Some of us, we can be informed into these things, and it doesn't really affect us as much because we don't need to do as much recovery. But if you need to do a lot of recovery, if you got a lot of recovery to do, maybe you need to go on a media fast. Maybe you need to go on a media diet. Right? Hear about the good things in life. Hear about where you're going. Affirm yourself. Take in a positive message. Like these videos I like to do. Listen to podcasts, right? Motivational videos that help you. Listen to them first thing in the morning and listen to them last thing at night before you go to bed. Because, let me tell you something, you want to start strong and you want to finish strong. You want to start your day on a positive note and end your day on a positive note because you need that in order to recover. So this is just a few things to consider when determining where does your focus need to be. War or recovery.